Is acrophobia, which is defined as the fear of heights. He finds himself at the edge of the limits to which he can find himself. But bad habits have made a habit of expanding his borders. A routine knitted noose he chooses as his companion. It takes advantage of every chance he lets it hang around his dreams. Raised to be a go-getter, tailored for the highest caliber, his ambitions were big enough to eclipse the topple towers, but life beat him before he could reach them. And he would trade the center of the world to rebuild his skyscraper-sized hopes. Life can change everything. It can turn innocence to decadence, wholeness to brokenness. How many people do you know who were once sweet as pie until it was thrown in their face? And they realize how bitter something that looks sweet can taste. Life can make fools of our lofty expectations. But he had a reputation, a mold he supposedly belonged in. He hid his spiritual gut under the fraudulent garments of a strong man. He was afraid to display the marks of shame that stretched his sanity to his breaking point. He sees destiny in a distance, but keeps a safe distance because he can't be made to stay if he isn't on the premises. He knows that a house on top of a hill cannot be hidden, but all he considers is the likelihood of falling. That fear chains him to the ground, and eventually, bondage begins to feel so familiar that he builds his house around it. He settles for the floor. When he was created to soar, he didn't think the risk would yield a worthy reward, but the truth is that it isn't life nor the height that frightened him as much as it is the climb. For years, he struggled with consistency, placed his discipline under arrest the way he would cop out of every opportunity, excuses, plagued his mind with a drive to succeed, used to reside in time after time. He blamed everyone else for his problems, saying life has taken a toll, when really, it only exposed. It exposed him. It exposes us. Searches the depths of our character to see what we're really made of. And if its contents could possibly erupt into a monument, revealing the harsh truth that next levels cost something. And most are willing to walk a path where pain is guaranteed, but are you willing to get cut while breaking through glass ceilings? Are you willing to be ridiculed and judged for what you're feeling? To step over the edge of hesitance, knowing that cliffs only look like death to those unaware that spinal cord holds wings. That the only way to release them is by forcing yourself to jump. Forcing you to make choices that give the slowful nightmares and causes the fearful to tremble. But fear, the antagonist of faith, the fatigue in every race, the punch in the face that makes you take inventory of what exactly you got yourself into, because everyone has a plan until they get hit. But I can't help but remember how Christ stuck to his plan every time he got hit, every time he got whipped, knowing when he was suffering, he chose to endure it. And the conclusion is that he now has a name that is above every name. And if he is the example, then why should we ever be afraid of heights? Why should we ever be afraid of depths? Because even when we fall, God can be lifted high. But we were born into a world of sin. We learn to be afraid, but God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And the love of Christ compelled his descent. He jumped for us. Now look where he sits. So when we still find it hard to find the courage to ascend, I suggest you remember who did it first. And I suggest you remember how. Love defeats fear. The humble touch the clouds. And if you don't yet know how to fly, then jump. Let him show you how.